Hello and welcome to the Deconstructing the Construct Q&A for October. Today's the 25th, 2025. And we, yes, we are in interesting times. Um, and I've said this before, I felt this before, and it's been true for me at least each time, but it's like the next layer, the next level up. We keep leveling up, and it's like the starter gun has gone off again. And this time, like the dominoes are about to fall very, very, very quickly. Firstly, does anyone have any questions? Or would you like to? Uh, yes, you can speak. Let me find you. There you go. Amber, you should be able to unmute.
All right. Hello, everyone. So I brought this up on your call the other night, but I kind of gave the shortened version. I want to hear your thoughts on this. So this is Three Eye Atlas. I'm sure you'd love to talk about that. Um,
You know, I
so
do.
I I have a friend that's an angel on the other side. So she's very open to experiences and tapping into things. And she was channeling one day and tapped into Three Eye Atlas. And what she got from that, and I'm not going to have this verbatim, but it'll be close, is that she felt it was consciousness for sure. And that it's also giving off water, right? And water holds memories. Water's like everything, but it's basically collecting data from us on like where we're at, what's going on. And as it gets closer to Earth in December, it'll be close enough where the water should be starting to mix with our water, and that will inevitably be thinning the veil and helping to upgrade our DNA and wake us up more. What are your thoughts on that?
Okay, I had to write that down. All right. Atlas got my attention when, in regards to me making some connections with messages from home. That's when it got my attention. So there was at one point a message that three means go, but it was like three what? They didn't elaborate. When I realized this was the third, I was like, oh, is this the three? And I tuned, okay, I have done a little bit of tuning in on this only in the last couple of weeks though, because like deliberate focused. Because prior to that, I was just feeling what I was feeling around it. Um, the first two interstellar objects, they very much were, in my knowing, just tech. They were reading, mapping is the more important word. They were mapping and taking reads, scanning. And Atlas is the one that's actually delivering the payload and doing the work. Um, if you just picture, because I'm only using this because it's what we are so all familiar with. I'm not necessarily saying it looks like this, but it's imagery that we can all work with. So just picture the solar system as it's presented. And now imagine that there are energetic lines running between the planets. And these it's like it's a grid. It's an it is actually technological, but because we can't see it with our physical eyes and we can't see it with the technology that we're allowed access to, we can see it energetically, and it looks like lines of energy, but it's a grid system. And in my awareness since 2011, when I had my moon experience, and David Icke's talked about it forever too, it's like the programming, the hub of the programming for the whole place realm is sort of like from Saturn, and the moon acts as a relay, like a Wi Fi extender. Yeah. So, because it's already gone past Saturn and severed that cord, it is already like from the moment it did that, it started disrupting actually Jupiter. But anyway, the, in the way, in terms of how we experienced and what we could feel, it already started to disrupt the signals, the grid work, the data transfer. Um, so that's one of the jobs that it's doing. It's going through and cutting all those cords, severing those connections. Um, it's also it has payloads in the sense of new code, um, code of the new, and it's delivering that as it goes as well. Um, and that involves for us, uh, oh man, so many things. But one of them, one of the big themes over just over the last couple of weeks is our memories coming back. Um, there's so much to say about this, actually. Um, it seems like people are feeling one of two or both of these things, which is excitement for no reason, excitement for without knowing what they're excited about. They can just feel, and a lot of people can feel something big is in the works and they're excited about it, but they don't know what it looks like. And for those who are already starting to really receive and work with these new codes, it seems to the core theme is betrayal. And if it hasn't started yet, you are going to see a lot of people talking about doing videos about betrayal. And it will start with all the ways in which you were potentially betrayed in this lifetime. And then you'll realize and have awareness of or remember the cycles where that same script is played out in previous incarnations. And then it'll work its way up to the ultimate betrayal, which was where we betray ourselves or have betrayed ourselves. Um, and then there'll be self-forgiveness. Um, just in this last week, it also feels like we hit that wall where nothing that is not in alignment and in integrity with the new moves forward. So if you find that there are areas in your life where you feel stuck or stalled, it might just be in one area, or it might be in many. It'll be because there is something that is out of alignment or out of integrity within you in regards to that and moving forward with that. There's something you have to, there's some little individual inside job you need to do around that. Um, Man, the dominoes that are about to fall will be where people who are public and not in alignment and integrity and blah, 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 you're going to see them stalling. You're going to see um, their presence, their popularity start to wane or something. Um, the other reason, the other message from home that caught my attention around Atlas was a line in the poem green is near to the end of the moon. So around the same time I realized that it was the third, I also realized it was green. Now there's something coming up on the 4th of November, 5th of November, the big super moon, something. And Atlas is going to be interacting with the moon or the closest to the moon or something like that at that time as well. Now, I'm not saying the moon's going to disappear. What I'm saying is, yeah, that relay, because it's glitching in the sense of not receiving its codes to relay, um, that may completely break down. And we will feel that. We should feel that. I'm interested to see if women's cycles do something strange or we have tidal anomalies or all the things that are attributed to the moon. Um, the other difference is, like I said, the first two felt very much just like tech, like drones, probes. This one, I agree with your friend, has life force, and it is not, in my opinion, galactic. It's beyond that. It's home. It's, yeah, it's to me, it's not aliens per se. It's bigger than that. Um, the water aspect, well, water holds code. So if I'm seeing it projecting code, she's seeing it projecting water. To me, that's the same thing. And Home talked about the water in the sense of the H2O that we have is like it's a corrupted form of water and it's actually quite harmful and it's harmful to anything outside this realm. The water that would heal us, the water that will allow the merge of all the realms, all of that is what she called 3ZB. And that does exist in our vernacular and science and all that. You can look it up. Um, so if if the water she's seeing is 3ZB as opposed to H2O, that would be interesting too. Um, but water, yeah, water holds code. It holds our memories. It holds everything. So I don't see um, I don't see an issue with what she's seeing at all. Is there anything you wanted to add to that, Amber? Oh, where'd you go? Oh, you muted and can't unmute? Try again.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't realize I wouldn't be able to unmute after I muted. My daughter was coming in and out, so I didn't want it to be a distraction. Um, I love what you were talking about with the water and the code. I absolutely feel that. So when Janine told me about what she tapped into, like I had chills. I had goosebumps. It felt so accurate to me. And what you're saying feels really accurate as well. Um, and then after DJW posted about it on his Telegram, that opened up a whole conversation for a group of us on Zoom. And so I was very much looking forward to this Q&A so that we could ask you about that. I know Stefano wants to hear all about it too. It's the big talk right now. And also with NASA, they're not going to be uploading any photos of it when it's the closest. So that tells us even more that
Mm.
this is home and that it's coming to help us. And they don't want us to know that, obviously.
Although apparently they found the time and the money to update the website to tell you that they're not going to update the website and tell you anything.
Oh my God. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Um, Shoot, I was going to ask you something else and it slipped my mind. Um, oh, the 3ZB. I don't know how many people know about that. You said to look it up, but I didn't know if you wanted to speak to that at all.
When the conversation came up with home, they said, we can't come there because of your H2O. It
Yeah.
would harm us. Um, they got as close as they could. And that 3ZB, so there's, now I don't know if it's like the Arctic or Antarctic sort of barrier, but kind of feels like it is, but there is a spot somewhere in these realms where the two meet, 3ZB and H2O. And the 3ZB would heal and transform us, but H2O would harm them. When we did some research on it back in the day, it turns out that 3ZB acts as a solvent. So
Hmm.
that kind of added up and made sense. Um, and that's kind of all I can remember about it, really.
Okay, thank you. Looks like you've got some other questions in there. I'll come back if I think of what I wanted to ask.
No worries. Thank you. Lisa, how do you see the restored Prime Earth, New Earth realm? I've heard others say some people will still eat, but to me, the need to eat occurs only in an inverted matrix. So that could be, so hang on. So that could not be the real deal. What are your thoughts on this? Thank you. Um, I can go back to conversations I had with Lilo about all this in the beginning. No, you don't need to eat at home. You don't need to drink. There is she called it a nectar that people drink maybe in our terms, once a month, um, as a little energy boost if they need it, or just purely for the enjoyment because it's lovely. Um, but then I sort of joked with her and said, is there still going to be red wine and tobacco? And she said, if you want. Um, but I didn't talk about eating food or eating animals. We didn't have that conversation. And a lot of us are already experiencing changes in terms of how often we eat, what we are inclined to eat, not eating anywhere near as much. Um, the need to harvest anything else for our own sustenance is not necessary. So I guess that's my thoughts on that. Okay, we don't remember yet. To If Lilu, Oliver, or Eriso were able to come through later on this call, what questions would you like them to address? What the fuck? Explain the last 2 years is what I would say. Um, Good question, Grant. What would I don't know. I think I'd be completely overwhelmed with so many questions. Um, I wouldn't know where to start. What would you ask? Okay, let me just find you. Okay, Stefano, you should be able to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yeah, hi Lisa.
Nay.
Hello everybody. I wanted to do a little opening monologue about what's going on now and what effects can be expected. I wanted to share an intensity that I'm experiencing that's exactly what you articulated.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. I've been through nonetheless some dark nights of the soul in my life. And on a scale of 1 to 10, this one is about a 7 or an 8. And it's been running for about 10 days now with a couple reprieves. And the experience, the emotional experience itself that the body mind wants to stick to is a sense of complete displacement. Like I don't belong anywhere. I don't know where I belong. And it has a terrible fear with it. This complete lack of familiarity, a sadness, and the solar plexus, very tight in the solar plexus. And weeping, cycles of weeping. It's like this experience of being a scared little boy. Now, I could say what also comes along with that is a sense of embarrassment and a little bit of shame because why is this happening to me? Story wants to run. And oh, this again. Now, as as the days have gone on, especially yesterday and today, I've really been hitting it head on and doing what I know to do, which is basically don't indulge in it, but don't deny it. And keep coming back, bringing my attention back to awareness itself. And what's become increasingly clear to me, it was slow because the emotions have been so intense, and it's just about keeping my nose above water. But yesterday and today, it started to unravel, and that I could see I was having this intense feeling, this real heart-wrenching sadness and loneliness. And in the core of it, there was people that came up into my mind that I have unresolved issues with. And I could see that I was holding them responsible in some way. And then I could see, well, they're owning a piece of me. It's my responsibility because I'm expecting them to understand me or to know me or to be the way I need them to be. So the bottom line is self-betrayal, just the way you nailed it. It's my responsibility completely.
One of the things we are going to have to step up to as we move forward is not taking things personally because people are at where they're at and we meet we meet them at their limitation. Like people will go as far as they can with you. And we do the same. These unresolved issues with these people are you holding on to a sense that they betrayed you and that's why it's unresolved, and now you're seeing that you're betraying yourself by holding on to that?
Essentially, yes. Hmm. Yeah,
I'm telling you, it's betrayal is the theme.
yeah, it is.
And I believe it. At this point, there may be a whole other level of understanding to come about this, but it feels at this stage that I'm at, it's how we betrayed ourselves by believing, falling for
Hmm.
so much of the bullshit,
Hmm.
so much of the programming. We fell for it, and in doing so, we betrayed ourselves, and we created and set up scripts and storylines to play out over and over and over again. And with that, it builds a sense of victimhood, which is another self betrayal. You are not a victim. None of us are victims. That's another lie that we fell for and betrayed ourselves in doing so. Um, just forgetting who we are is the ultimate betrayal of ourselves.
What I like to highlight, Lisa, is that it's my experience that in the midst of those stirred up emotions, when they're kind of running the show, even though it's temporary, for me, it's difficult. It's difficult to come with any reason or logic or remembering what's true, irregardless of my experiences. When those emotions have me, I have to just ride them until I can get to some clarity. It's almost as if they have to, if I let them be there, but as I said before, don't indulge in them, yet don't deny them. And at a certain point, there's a break in the clouds. That's my experience of it.
It's the only way to release them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing I wanted to say is I'm just curious as hell if this three-eye atlas has anything to do with this provocation.
Oh,
Because this
yes.
hit me out of nowhere.
Yes, this absolutely. This is the payload that it's
Mm,
delivering.
yeah. Now
It's
I
these.
might I might want to add, if you don't mind. I've been I'm kind of a contemporary lunatic. I've been affected by the moon all of my life. 9 out of the 12 moons every year, full moons, I get such a low, like almost like a hypoglycemic blood sugar crash,
Oh, wow.
depression, low vitality. Yeah. And it starts about 2 or 3 days on the up before the full moon. And on the day of the full moon, it stops. And I dealt with it for most of my life. It stopped about 10 years ago. It just went away. And I wasn't looking for it. I never looked for it. And in this past year, it started again a little bit. And then this month, October, on the 5th, 6th, and 7th, it was on me strong and it hasn't let up since. And the 7th was the harvest moon, I believe.
Well, you'll be a
And
great gauge.
instead of going away, it just continued and amplified. And as I said, I was hoping I would get that answer about this three-eye atlas. In fact, I shot Darius a message about my experience.
Well, I'm going to have to check in with you after this next full moon. So, yeah, you're going to be a great leader for what's going on there. Wow.
Yeah, so I suspect that this three-eye atlas does have something to do with it. And it's only been in the past week that I've been hearing about it and chatting with some different people and Amber in the group, and it really has my attention. And I suspect that it's true. It does. It's the influence
Yeah,
of
to me
that.
it is. It's like it's sending out the codes of the new
Mhm,
and it's calling us to it to
mhm.
match it. And so anything that doesn't,
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
got to go.
Yep. Yep.
And and that includes the suppressed memories.
Mhm,
A lot of people are having dreams, some people are playing it out in dreams where they're having dreams about people they haven't seen for 20, 30 years or stuff that's gone on in childhood or processing, and maybe the dreams are playing out like a memory and then they end it differently the way it ended here. That's a nice way of doing it in your dream state.
mhm.
All this reconciliation. Some people are literally running into or hearing from people that they haven't seen for many, many years and reconciling, closing out, um, getting closure on certain issues or relationships. Um, it's playing out in different ways, but it's all about, yeah, memories and stepping up into the new.
So only today, after a long sitting of just quieting the mind and being in stillness, I was able to access the feeling or the notion of this is an opportunity. And then came gratitude. So I've been exercising this notion of it's an opportunity and to have gratitude for it.
The other thing I've noticed in the last week that it's doing, now 2 years ago, a lot of us went through this sacral energy activation and understanding that our consciousness, our soul, is actually like rooted in our bodies at the sacral. It comes through the heart, but grounds in the sacral. And so there's this very strong connection between the sacral and the heart. And there's been ebbs and flows with that sacral energy ever since. But there was another big activation of it this week. I don't know if anybody else experienced it. And to me, that's also part of what's happening at the moment. It's as we're stepping up and becoming more in alignment with these new codes, the life force gets stronger. You feel it in your sacral. There's so much going on. And yes, a lot of it is instigated by Atlas. Because it's time. It's just time. Maureen, is there anything more you wanted me to elaborate on? Because you put that in a while ago. Have I said enough about that?
Thanks for listening,
Can
everybody.
Thank you, Stefano. And thank you for being so honest and raw and real.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Very much. Can you please say the nectar again? That's just what Lulu called it. It was a drink. She called it a nectar. That's it. It's speculated that the Great Flood holds the black goo, which is the trauma event of Tiamat being exploded back when Atlantis was in place, and it's ended. Okay, I'm gonna have to read this a couple of times. I think it is speculated that the Great Flood holds the black goo, which is the trauma event of Tiamat being exploded back when Atlantis was in place, and its energetic trauma, and this is how the cabal helps enhance their agenda. Could this be why Holmes says it's harmful to them? Maybe. I've never made a connection between the Great Flood and the black goo. Black goo, the black goo being the virus. To me, that was part of just a massive reset, and not as long ago as we would like to think or have been told. I think the virus goes back further than that. So I'm not sure what to say about that. Sorry. Okay, just looking for the next question. Okay, you got a lot of people feeling the same as you, Stefano. I had a miracle regarding betrayal healing. Tasha, did you want to? share anything?
Okay, I'm unmuted now.
There you go. Hello.
Hi, hello. Um, yeah, it happened on Wednesday, so just a couple days ago. Um, Regarding betrayal, it it has to do with layers of when things happened in your life and how you respond to them, how you feel about them. And um, I've been doing some inner work about clearing childhood things. And I've done so much work, and finally I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna erase the childhood memories that I have, and I'm just gonna say I had a good childhood. And I did that 2 weeks ago, and I only did it a few times, and I meant it. And um, I don't remember my mother being kind to me or loving to me. And in 2023, she said, "You're dead to me. I don't want to hear from you ever again. You're not my daughter. I'm done with you." And that was really not cool compared to, well, the childhood wasn't cool, but that was, yeah. So I really didn't think I'd ever hear from her again. Well, on Wednesday, she reached out to me and she said, "It's time that we are reunited and have a mother and daughter relationship now." And 2 weeks previous to that, all I was doing was erasing my childhood betrayal feeling and saying to myself, I had a good childhood. And I meant that. I mean that. And then my mom reached out and said, "I'm your mom." Now, the interesting thing is, I don't have um, memories going back of even having a relationship with her in a good way. But because I've erased the feelings of all of that and let it go and accepted it and then let it go, now I'm like, okay, I had a good childhood, but now my mother's reaching out. I'm like, how do I be a good daughter to her? And I had to sit with that for a few days. And what it feels like, it isn't a reunion of mother and daughter, it's a reunion of two souls meeting again and reconnecting. It's a soul connection. It isn't about the mother and daughter as a role playing, it's the souls connecting. And so that's where it's at with that miracle, because it was a miracle that I even felt to rewrite the betrayal of the childhood, the whole childhood with her. And it was easy to do because I decided to do it. I did it only a few times in the last couple of weeks. And then on Wednesday, my mom called me and or messaged me and said, yeah, it's time we reconnect. So miracles with all the information, when we choose to, like how Stefano said, you're not in denial of it, but you sit with it and let it filter through to let it go. You get the reconciliation and acceptance in yourself to let it go, and rewriting that this is how it is for me now. And the miracle that if you'd ever said to me that my mom would reach out and say, "I want to be your mother and I want you to be my daughter," I'd say, you could tell me anything but that. That's the only thing I'd say, never. And it just happened. So,
You know, every time you said the word reconnect, I felt my body kind of almost reject it, because it's not a reconnection, it's actually an initial connection, as you
yeah,
said, from soul to soul, without the roles, without the script, without the,
yes,
yeah, beautiful.
yeah. Thank you for listening, because it feels directly connected to the energies from 3i Atlas, all of this stuff that's being surfaced for resolution. We get to choose how we handle this and how each of us interacts with ourself and then with everybody else, and the connection we have with the information and the information of others responding how they are. And yeah, so
It's
thank
a
you.
massive, massive invitation to step up to and step into and surrender to all of it. And those who do so willingly, this process isn't going to be easy. I'm not going to say if you do it willingly, it's going to be easy. But if you don't and you resist, it is just going to get harder and harder and harder and more compressed, and you'll feel you're hitting that wall in more and more areas of your life, and it's like kicking or screaming. We have to step up. And so those who are dedicated to doing the individual inside job will flow through this quicker and easier. But it doesn't mean these moments won't bring you to your knees every now and then, because there's a lot. We've been through a lot. It's just a lot. I mean, even having those words said to you by your mother initially, what she originally said, that's a lot. So again, thank you for sharing, Tasha, and thank you for being so open and honest. Okay, hi Lisa. In the midst of all this, what does justice mean? How is justice meted out to the truthful? How does all this feel like from home? Betrayal is bad. Will it stop? Thanks. Okay. How is justice meted out? Well, we're the only ones who ultimately will judge ourselves. There is no judgment in that sense. In the 3D sense, on the world stage, if you're talking about that sort of thing, are we going to see military tribunals and all of that? No, it just sort of feels more like people will kind of self-destruct. Yeah, self-destruct. They will be their own undoing. And I don't really know what that looks like, to be honest, in a 3D sense. But no soul gets left behind. And a lot of what we're seeing play out on the world stage, I mean, I know everyone says it, and it's so fucking true. It is a movie. Not everybody's who you think they are. And some are appearing to be vile simply for the reason to get you to question, open your mind, or trigger a memory, or whatever it is. And I'm not sure if that answers your question, but when we stop betraying ourselves by believing anything that isn't true about who we are, then I don't think anything can betray us externally. So that's how it stops. that make sense? It's ultimately you are at the center of your own story. And when you stop betraying yourself, you will stop being betrayed by others. That's what I got. Maureen, I can let you unmute. You should be able to unmute now.
Hey there, can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. So, is Three Eye Atlas a spaceship with three beings on it, or is it something else?
I do feel energy signatures on it. Whether they're physically on it or whether they're those who are energetically or somehow technologically directing it, I don't know, but I do feel individual signatures there. And like I said, it's not in my feel. Things I'm sure it's not. From Earth, from the military, from secret space program, none of that. It's a very specific galactic group. It's not an Arcturian or a Palladian or a whatever. The signatures I feel are signatures I'm familiar with from home. And some that I'm not, for sure. But the strongest feeling is, I guess, what people call the new Earth, or what I call the new home. The new frequencies. That's the strongest feeling. And it's recoding everything.
There are some who are saying that it is there to do like a GPS tracker on our souls, and it's there to drain energy. It doesn't sound like you feel that way about it.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. And the GPS aspect of it, that happened back in, I don't know, like 2018. And then again in 2020, that's why we had lockdowns. Was so that everybody could kind of, and from a home's perspective, not nefarious, be identified and, yeah, like geotagged. But I'm not getting any of that from this at all. There isn't, I don't care what the fear-mongering narrative is around it. I got none. There's nothing negative about it. In terms of how this could play out, if it goes this way, it'll be very quick. It'll be fake alien invasion, blue beam shit they're telling us is Three Eye Atlas. Then there may, and then this is one potential. So we get fake, then we get actual galactics, and then we get home. And if it goes that way, I mean, for it to go that way, they're going to have to throw the blue beam thing off first, the fake stuff. And if they don't, then there's no need for the other two. I'm not expecting at all that Three Eye Atlas is going to land as a ship and people are going to disembark. It'll probably just come through and go out as it's projected to, but it's rewriting everything as it does that.
Do you have a timeline that you're aware of?
I have dates that are making me feel very excited. Starting tomorrow, what's Sunday the 26th for me, seems to be highlighted through to like the 4th or 5th of November. And then the lead up to Christmas, especially around the 21st of December. So I guess this Halloween period and then the lead up to Christmas are two time phases that are standing out for me. Very exciting. I've got nothing but excitement about what's going on. That does not mean that on the ground it doesn't look a little chaotic. However, even a lot of the chaos is manufactured and part of the movie. Um, yeah, I've got nothing to. I've got nothing in terms of fear around this at all.
Okay. Thank you, Lisa.
You're welcome. These are your questions if they came through, Grant. What's the current time ratio between home and our experience here? Yeah. It's feeling pretty real time right now, isn't it? Does the task of group 16 remain the same? I would say so, which is focus on home. There's more talk of dragons. Also, the Rainbow Serpent awakening. Do you feel the dragons and Rainbow Serpent are in the fleets behind Atlas? Not the Rainbow Serpent. That's, to me, very much an energy that is part of this realm. I hadn't felt into or even thought about the dragons and Atlas in terms of all congregating together, because the dragon energy feels very much here, more on the ground. So I have to say no, I guess, to that. All right. Deanna, did you want to? I'll just find you. You can unmute if you wanted to share that. Can you please talk about the 3 days of darkness? Is that scenario still relevant? Okay, Deanna, did you want to unmute?
Can you hear me?
Yep,
Can you
now.
hear me? Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. I thought I was talking just a minute ago, but I guess I didn't. But yeah, I just want to share. I kind of talk on Jeff's Zoom site and stuff with Amber and everybody a little bit. I'm the one that lost the 5-year-old child back in 2009. And after that experience, I had a child that was only a year older than him. And we kind of grew apart because I went through a strange relationship with his father. I mean, we went through a divorce and everything after the loss of the child. But I just wanted to share that, I mean, I didn't really have a relationship with him for such a long time. And I kind of just let it be how it was. We did connect in the past few years. Um, he didn't really connect with me. He's just like, I don't know what to say to you, you know? And I'm like, well, you don't have to say anything. I mean, you could just start with a conversation or just say hi, you know? And I just left it at that and just let him kind of grow at his own pace. But then I just kind of just tune in every now and then, tell him, "Oh, how are you doing?" You know, and he would give a little bit of his life to me. But then this week I just did like a normal do, you know, and say, "How you doing?" I was wondering how your life's going, and he actually called me. And we had like a 2.5 hour like conversation. And he told me about him. You know, he's got a girlfriend that's moving in, that he's got a ring for her, that he's getting engaged. And we connected in such a way that, I mean, spiritually wise, that I mean, he's, you know, on the same path as me, you know, that we're both, you know, like, you know, I mean, just going higher and higher. And as far as reaching out to the best versions of ourselves and everything. And we were both pretty much in tears at just the communication that we had for each other and just the love. And we haven't bonded in such a way for such a long time. And he's just like, Mom, I think about you all the time. And I'm like, I think about you too, sweetheart. But it was just like a bending moment for the both of us. So I just wanted to, you know, just kind of wanted to share that and give it out to everybody that maybe help anybody that's out there. Just a story to listen to, I guess.
That's beautiful. Congratulations. Did you consciously do any work around it before this happened? Or you just stayed consistent with reaching out? Oh, you probably just
No, I've always been on a self searching thing. Like in Jeff's group, I have talked to, you know, I mean, I literally went through my own hell after the situation. I mean, I was an alcoholic for a long time. And back in 23, I had a car accident and I broke my neck and my spine. I had a T4 burst fracture in my spine. So I was in a wheelchair. I mean, I had a catheter. I mean, you know, I couldn't walk or anything, but I've healed myself. I mean, I had no feeling in my right leg, you know, and I even had a speckled like on all over my leg from where I had no movement or just no feeling. And I can walk. I can get up. You know, and I actually am pretty healthy, you know, and everything. And like I'm excited about everything that's going on around me. Yeah, I know it. Some of it seems like in a rough spot, but that's if you give in to that, you know. But most of the time, if I see something that's like, I mean,
Oop, she accidentally muted herself.
did I cut myself off?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, where did I leave off?
You were talking about your healing and how well you're doing now and that you're pretty healthy in general. That's the last
Yeah.
thing I
So,
heard, I think.
yeah. I mean, we just bought a new house. I mean, and we're looking forward to moving into that. But it's been a change situation for us here. But and you know, as far as my son goes and stuff, that was just a miracle for me because I never ever expected it to happen. And for him to call me and say, you know, Mom, I think about you all the time. And it's like, oh man, I think about you all the time too. And we were just both in tears and just the feelings that we had for each other at that time. And just, you know, for him to just because I thought I was just wrote out of his life pretty much, you know. But so that was just and it happened this week. So it's kind of like a miracle to me.
Oh, well, let's bring them on. More of these miracles. Congratulations. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you for letting me share.
3 days of darkness. I don't know. Is it still relevant you? Maybe if they try and pull the blue beam thing, it'll be connected to that. And so it's, yeah, it could be dependent on that because I want everybody outside looking up. I feel the excitement at times where I'm almost giddy. I see Christmas, but not 2026. So there's going to be a new home within this construct first, and then we will be able to go home out of this construct. Question. It's like the way I see it is within this construct we've got all these realms. We've got the 12 realms. It opens up. That's the first part, and then we sort of end up with 3 eventually. So we've got the one that is for those who need more time. We've got what we're calling the new home and the source realm of it all. That's not necessarily something we will occupy. And we get to have a genuine experience in that home one for those who want it. Otherwise, you can leave altogether. Yeah, I'm 10,000% in the excitement camp for what's going on and coming. Overjoyed. When you talked to Lulu and other souls, including the creator, did any of them talk about having an experience in this construct, in any realms of it? Good question. Lulu was quite specific about the fact that she didn't want to come in here in the way that we have, because it required the mind wipe and the forgetting and all of that. So she found another way. And Risso talked about something like 400 and something different clans who had come in here in order to try and do the job that we've been doing from the inside, and all got lost in the sense of everyone forgot who they were, everyone forgot their mission. So a whole new way had to be found. It had to be a collaboration. It wasn't just, we couldn't just do it from the inside. It had to be a collaboration between inside and outside. So no, most of them had not. Could 3i Atlas be a band of frequencies that has broken through that we have never felt, seen before, hence they can't show anything tangible, and is here for us to remember our path home? That is essentially what it is, yes. So it's up to us to meet the frequency. There's talk it could hijack, that it could be hijacked or corrupted. No, yep, absolutely not. Not in my opinion. I mean, that is what it's broadcasting, is this band of frequencies, this band of new code. It's just all new code. And it's code of this new realm, reality, new earth, whatever you want to call it. And it's the code of who we really are. So we're all being invited to step up to it. Oh. Okay. Do we have any other questions? I've caught up on the chat. All right. You guys are all good then. Lisa, since the last workshop, there was a download, just like you said, new code, and it seems some of us are downloading. Yeah, that was me all day yesterday. It started from waking up from a dream, which was an interesting one. And I just spent the whole day yesterday in this expanded state of information coming in and just trying to process. All very personal, all memory, all just expansive. Lots of heart and soul, heart and sacral activation. It's been big. Lots of downloads for sure. Wendy, you should be able to unmute.
Hey,
Hello.
yeah, thanks.
Oh, you're a bit
Since
muffled,
that
love.
last workout. Oh, I don't know. Mm, Hold on a moment. Just one moment. Yeah, gotta go out. Can you hear me now, Liz?
Oh, that's better. Yeah, loud and clear.
There seems to be that the new code you're talking about, the downloading since the last workshop, and I think that's what a lot of people are experiencing. And it sometimes it can come in our emotions as like Stefano said, as weeping, or as the young lady that spoke before, happiness. And it seems to have broken something over this collective, that it's allowing our awareness and our consciousness to awaken to such a deep, deep level, because we have been so fucked up with society and everything, that as we're moving all together in this collective and in the learning about life, our path, our journeys, it seems to be opening us on such a level, a cellular, deep level, that some of us are experiencing it in different ways in our emotions and in our physical body, and downloading this data that's coming in all ways. And and this is our, your only outlet, that we can come to an understanding of really what's going on now. And we're like going home, making our conscious connection with our, like, Lulu, like beings that are starting to connect with us more. And we are able to now start to understand that connection. It's we have to look at it so positively, that it's just such an amazing thing that's happening with us, and you can feel it so deep, I think. And that's the expression, that we're, as humans, we're trying to cope with what these downloads are coming through. And wow. Yeah.
When you're in your head, when you get in your head and you observe all the storylines and you observe all the shit that's going on, there's a lot to be fearful of. But the minute you drop that and you drop into your heart and you really, really feel what's going on, there's nothing to fear.
Yeah. I don't I agree totally. There's got to be no fear. You've got to release that and just trust the downloads that everyone's getting. Even if you feel like you feel at your weakest point of tears and heartbreak, and you're not really sure what's happening. You just to think something is for a purpose. It's changing you at that level, but it's not a bad thing, and that's a good thing.
The
That's a good
thing that's
thing.
always helpful for me to remember is I don't know what I don't know.
Mm,
So I don't know what needs to be revealed within me necessarily. I don't know what codes need to be rewritten. I don't
that's
know
right.
what perspectives I
Yeah.
need to change. I don't know what my blind spots are. I don't. So to there's no need to resist it or face it with fear
Mm,
because something on the
yeah.
other side of that will be
Yeah.
amazing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I think is what's happening with us now as we're moving forward with, that we're trying to cope, I think, in some ways, and we can delegate it as fear or we can delegate it as whatever, but it's just there's new awareness coming, isn't there? It's like your awareness is even more expanding.
Yeah. And well, that seems to be the result of memories coming up. It's um yeah, the more we remember, the more our consciousness expands.
Yes. Yes. Will you meet Lulu one day, Les?
I hope so. I hope so.
Mm. Do you feel that there is that consciousness of that meeting? This connection is immediate in this realm, in this construct, at this time.
I have experienced her energetically, at least, but so strongly to the point where it feels like I could reach out and touch her
Mm.
many times. I don't know. I don't know what that's going to look like. And I don't think I'm supposed to know because I think there's
Yeah.
surprises in this for all of us,
Yes.
you know?
Mm.
So who knows? So thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Les. Much love.
You too. What I meant with the 3 days of darkness is not just a blackout, but nothing electric working, no batteries, no flashlights, nothing. No, I don't think so. And what about a pole shift? I don't think the pole shift is physical. It's a polarity shift. It's, as my mate Russ explains rather well, imagine a set of scales, positive and negative. Well, the scales have been out of balance. We've been heavily in the negative. The pole shift is we go almost to the other extreme. It doesn't feel like it's got any connection to anything physical. Amber, you had something?
Hello again.
Hello again.
Um, so this is on the water. I remember back from you sharing the Lilu days, and there was talk about unlocking the water, where she was going to say something along the lines of 100% unlock.
That's
Can
exactly what she said. Yeah.
can you refresh my memory and others' memories on what that was?
She was putting new code into the water of the realm. And she asked us to work with it by every time we were engaging with water, whether you were drinking it, bathing in it, swimming in it, whatever, to just say 100% unlock the new code. But then she got very, very upset, and she said they're somehow deleting what I'm putting in. They're changing it back. So she did it multiple times. But back in the day, we had some pretty profound experiences around 100% unlock with the water, including things like being in the bath or being in the shower and working with 100% unlock and having these heart expansion moments or having a memory drop in or uh, having a healing. Yeah, it was working. And I haven't done it in a very, very long time, and I don't know if anybody has.
We had been
But
playing with it a
thanks.
while back.
I was just going to say thanks for the reminder, because now might be a really good time to do that with these new codes coming in and with your friend seeing it as water. That could well be set your intention to 100% unlock the new
Yeah.
codes. Ooh, fucking careful what you ask for though.
Right.
That could be powerful.
Um, yeah, she was saying Three Eye Atlas was releasing water on purpose to carry information or to gather through the water. She said, I saw water, a light spray of it. It was gorgeous. Water carries information, gathers information, and holds that information. So I had shared with her that I was sharing what she had told me about the Three Eye Atlas, and so she was just throwing in a few more things that I could mention. Um,
Something that is
so
really powerful, and I've done this myself. If you can get yourself into a natural body of water, down at the beach or in a river or a lake or whatever, and just stand there with your feet in it, and with the absolute knowing, because it is, that all of your original codes, all of your original memories, everything that you let go of when you came in here is in the water,
yeah.
and command for it to be returned to you and absorb it through your feet in the water.
Mm,
You don't even have to get fully submerged. You just have to stand in it. Um,
that
Command the
might work.
return of all of your original codes.
Yeah, that I tried that in a salt bath the other day. I did another one since staining my tub. I got just regular plain white Epsom salt. But yeah, I got in there to try to gain some of my memories back. I had a nice meditation, but I didn't tap into anything. But yeah, maybe standing in water that's outside.
Mm, uh, definitely.
I love that. Now, when you picture Lilu in your head, how do you see her? What do you think she looks like? Do you have like a description in your mind?
Hmm.
Anything you want to share?
She has white skin, as in the color white, not me white,
Hmm.
like the wall white.
Oh, wow.
Um, she told me she has hair that's my color, but I always see her as bald. I've never seen her with hair energetically. I don't know what that's about. Um, and she has violet eyes.
Oh, pretty. Beautiful. It's funny when you said that she was all white. I knew what you meant by that color. I don't know how I just knew that, but I also pictured her with no hair when you said that. So that's really funny that you said that. Um, yeah, cool.
No
Thank you.
worries. Yeah, if you ever see a very violet eye in your energy, it might be her. Do I have anything on the volcanoes? Not really. No. It's not something I've really put any focus on. Will the home codes take years to integrate? Will migration to home be quick? No, these codes that are coming in now, no, it's kind of like meet them the hard way or the easy way. It feels this is we're so in it and it feels like it's going to go so fast. Will migration to home be quick? We're already in it. And it has been an incredibly slow process on the one hand, but it's exponentially speeding up. I do feel that at some point we get to a point where we just have a realization that we're there. It's like this place just sort of gets better and better and better, and we get bigger and better. And at some point we realize, I'm not in Kansas anymore. If that doesn't make sense, I hope it does. Okay, Brooke, you had something apparently. You should be able to unmute.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey, darling, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Good. Sorry, it always takes me a second to figure out how to unmute, and I'm just gonna speak very quickly because I'm walking into a football game. But I wanted to just say something about forgiveness. It was more relevant a few minutes ago, but that's okay. I'm gonna share it anyway. Um, one of the revelations that I've had throughout my life and my experiences and journey is about forgiveness and forgiveness of your own self, forgiveness of others who have transgressed against you. And how this came to me was very clearly, they know not what they do. When we don't know what we don't know, we do things for reasons sometimes that we don't even know why we're doing it. And I think I'm trying to figure out the best way to articulate how this has come through me, but
You've just started to be muffled.
oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, better. Yeah.
Okay, if I move, sometimes my headphones will get messed up. I'm trying to figure out the best way to articulate this. I think so many people right now in this journey are feeling all sorts of things, guilt for past actions, whatever, or they're having memories maybe of those too. And the way that I have learned to forgive myself mainly and other people is by recognizing that they do not know what they do not know. You know, there are things that I did that weren't in right action, and it was naive. It was innocent. It wasn't intended to be harmful. It was innocent. And I did not have the awareness that I have now. And so I think about all of my time here. Sorry, I'm going to get really emotional. I think about all of my time here, and I think I did not know what I did not know. And when I look at things that other people have done, and this is every day, I mean, you can look around and see something that somebody's not doing in right action. And the fastest way I can forgive them is to say, they don't have the same level of awareness. They do not know what they do not know. And the programming here has been very thick for so long that people do not know. And so I wanted to just say that when we look back on our past actions or whatever, how you can forgive yourself and others is to recognize that you did not know what you know now. And there's a lot of peace in that.
You're also touching on what I said earlier about not taking things personally, and people will go to their limit with you. So what I meant by that was, let's say you're in conversation with someone, deep conversation perhaps, but you say something and you're kind of meeting each other, and then you say something that triggers an internal battle within themselves. That's always what it is. You
Yes.
say something that triggers their ego. You say something that pushes their mind to its limit. And it triggers an internal battle within them, but the only way they can express that battle is to battle you. And it's an externalization of the internal battle that they're having. And so they went as far as they could. And whether it's with their heart, whether it's with their mind, whether it's with their beliefs, whether it's with their programming, they went as far as they could, and then they hit their own internal wall. And because they don't know that that's what they did, because they don't know what they don't know, you're the cause of this discomfort that they've got going on inside. And that has to be then projected onto you. And that's the way we run our relationships.
Yeah. Well, 100%. And I'm not a religious person at all, but I've studied all of it. And there's several lines that have always stuck with me, but one of them is forgive them for they know not what they do. And um, there's so much evil here. And sometimes I think the only way that we can combat that really is with forgiveness. I just don't know how else to say that. Is forgiveness. That's it. The way that you combat evil is with forgiveness. And I just wanted to share that because I think oftentimes we internally struggle. The one thing that I always think is, who would we be without all of the stories? The stories that we tell ourselves, the stories that society tells us, the stories that our family tells us, the stories that our experiences tell us, and how you can look at a really ugly person. And I don't mean physically ugly, I mean emotionally ugly person. When when you can look at them and say, what would they be without all of these stories? There's only one answer. And it's love. Because that's where we come from. All of us.
There's always pain underneath that ugliness.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
And
But I just wanted to share that with you guys.
Thanks,
What were you
Brooke.
going to say, Lisa? I didn't want to cut you off. I love hearing.
Oh, I don't know. Good.
Oh gosh, I love you guys. I have this deep knowing that things are about to just get really fucking good. And if everybody will just hang on and try to be in right action, even when you feel rage, because trust me, I'm not immune to any of that. And I'm no saint. Just try to remind yourself, like, this shit's gonna get really, really good. I know it. I know. And anything that feeds you fear is a disinformation campaign to keep you in fear. So if you feel fear when you're listening to it, when you're watching it, when you're hearing it, turn it off. I love you guys. Thanks for letting me speak, Lisa. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
The artificial Italian that I spoke about in the Deconstructing the Construct series said he controlled the construct. Is he the parasite? An expression of, a result of. Oh yeah, who's hearing the tones? Who's hearing the frequencies, weird, static even, almost like something's trying to dial between radio stations. It feels like prep. You know how I talked about White Dragon would speak, and then Cliff High put that article out called The Whisper in the Dark. We may be getting attuned to hear it when it comes. Okay. Okay. Do I have any quick advice on what's going on with you physically? I'm going to ask you to unmute because I've got a couple of questions. Jaya, you should be able to unmute.
Yes. Jayashree here. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, everyone. And I am here, just a few hours ago, I am diagnosed for diabetes with a very high spike. And I am from Bangalore, and this is 6 a.m. for me. And 3 hours, I'm waiting for the 3 hours time to meet the doctor again to get the final. And they wanted me to admit, but I said that I will come back to give me emergency treatment. And I really want to know
Has this all come out of the blue? Is this very
yes,
sudden?
suddenly, and yes, and I didn't have diabetes before, and none of my family members had. And one thing which became certain to me is when I was betrayed by the world around. I am 54 years, and it is like I have gone through a process of like, uh, if you stand for truth, in a very gentle way, not hurting the person who hurts you, then you will have to bear the burnt of it. And it has been all through. But when I faced all this flashback from the outside world, I went into low BP and nothing more than that. And when I got this betrayal from inside the family members, it was too much to bear because it was like I had a memory of agreeing to support one another before coming here. And it was like after we came here, the most important people became strangers. So it is like that betrayal I couldn't handle very much. And in the past 3 months, it was going on. And suddenly, it is so shocking that it has landed in a very high spike in sugar level because this has been a shock. And I saw
I'm
hand of
sorry, but I'm
video.
having trouble understanding everything you're saying.
Yeah.
But what it sounds like is as you've had memories come up of
Yes,
the betrayal, it's having an effect on your physical body, and
certainly.
you're now pre-diabetic or or even
Yeah,
beyond?
actually,
And
no,
that's
no. The reports came. I received the soft copy, and it is like I'm type 2 diabetic now. All of a sudden, it has come out of the blue. After I got the memory back, and also as you said just now, it is like I said the only mistake I have done. I feel is forgetting myself. That is what betraying myself. I told my children, and I told them to learn a lesson from this, that never allow anything that makes us forget ourselves. That is what I told my children who are 20
mm,
plus now, both the children. So it is very much, I can relate to this, that it is that the memories came back, and I have slided into a diabetic situation. And how do I, is there, I think you will certainly know, like, how do I come back to the normal? How do I handle this situation in a better way? Like I don't go into the sadness of being it, but I take it as a very strict warning in life that I should be very careful with regards to my thoughts, with regards to my memories, and with regards to the decisions I take, and how I respond, even at the subtle-most levels of the thoughts. Because what I felt is, if we are connected deeply to some people, even slightly, if we say that they did this because of something else, then it affects me most, because it is a conscious decision on their part to betray or do some harm. But if we say that no, 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 because of somebody else friendship, or because of somebody said so, because of something external they did this, that is not true. So if that, I'm very sensitive to the thought process. I really wanted to know if I can um, uh, how to how to reach the shore safely here, because being kind and being gentle has got me this. We are not capable of hurting others who hurt us. So
it's very rare for someone to consciously, intentionally set out to hurt you. That's rare.
but sorry to interrupt, but I have experience with my two sisters. It is like they never ever felt comfortable with the peace within the family. They consciously do it because they don't do it to others or in their office environment, but at home they hurt my own two sisters hurt my parents, and they never obliged to have a meal together for no reason. Everything was good, and just that it is a conscious way, like they are very good social people outside, they are very good at office, but at home there is no particular reason to show enmity, but it is coming from within. And
Because family is obliged
yeah,
to love you no
yeah,
matter
so it
what.
is taken for granted. Yeah, it is taken
Yes.
for granted.
Um, and sometimes that that facade that's being put out there everywhere else is exhausting. So you can drop it
Yes,
at
yes,
home.
yes.
Um, okay, on the physical, I mean, I can't give health advice. That would be
uh, handling
um,
thoughts, like, yeah, that is
handling
what I meant.
thoughts. Yeah, I mean, you could reach out to Amber for some potentially.
Yes,
I'm sorry, Amber, I'm throwing you under the bus there for some
I'm
advice on
following
what
her
she
advice.
did
Yeah,
physically.
yes.
Um, the only thing, honestly, is try and put aside their persona, their role in your life as
Mm,
sisters. Just put all that aside for a second,
yes.
and heart to heart, soul to soul,
Okay.
see them for who they are as a soul,
Okay.
and invite the persona to live up to that, to match that, because you have a different relationship soul to soul, you have a different relationship to what's going on here.
Okay. Okay.
And just, I don't know, just to say let it go is so easy and blasé to say. But don't suppress what you're feeling,
Correct.
because
Yes.
the effects of our emotions on our bodies, the effects of the energies on our bodies, our thoughts on our bodies are so much more than we've ever been led to understand. And when there's more of you present, sometimes your blood pressure can go through the roof and sometimes it can bottom out. And it's all just about how much you're allowing or resisting.
Yes.
But that's just go into meditation and just try that. Just put the personas over there and connect soul to soul, heart to heart, and
Yes.
ask them and invite them to do something different, to play a different story, to even let them know that they don't need to be that for you in your experience anymore, because you've gotten what you needed to from that. Thank you very much. You've played the bitch sisters.
Yes.
Got everything I needed from that. You can play something else now. Just
Okay. Okay, we'll do
invitations
that.
and big breaths and see what happens.
Certainly, I will do so. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, Amber. Thank you, everyone. And even when doctor was treating me, I was waiting for this Q&A, and this means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, so okay, I'm in the point in the chat where you're commenting on the tones and noises in the ears. One thing I've had on and off over the years is this feeling like I'm wearing a headset with a microphone, the ones that has a little microphone in it, and that like it's hitting and buzzing my lip. If I had to give it a physical description, if you ever had cold sores, that initial feeling that happens before the cold sore comes in, it's like this weird tingling sensation. Close to that, but as if like a microphone is shorting out on my lip. Love to know if anyone else is getting that. Well, what can you say? What can you share about the place of those who need more time? Some say they go through another ascension cycle. No, I don't see it like that at all. It's just like a world where all the fuckery's gone. There's no more programming. There's no more obstructions. There's no more control and manipulation. So there's no breaks on their personal individual awakening. And they can do it as slowly or as quickly as they want, as they can handle. Not on lip, but on my body. Oh, Julie. Should I ask where? Or is that going to be too personal?
Hi, it's Julie.
Hi.
Hi, I mean, some places, yeah, are kind of awkward to explain, but definitely I have the ringing in my ears, sometimes in my feet, especially when I'm trying to ground. in my arms and wrists when I'm writing. So I do think it's a communication for sure. And I would say in the chakra areas, a lot of time I feel this kind of electric pulsing. So yeah, I mean, the lower chakras, yeah, are kind of intense, but it's definitely messages, but I don't know if I'm really tuning into the specifics, or maybe they're just waking up or triggering or opening things.
When you
But
say the
yeah,
lower chakras,
mm-hmm.
this sacral energy that I refer to,
Mm-hmm.
as a woman, it feels like low in your womb.
Yeah.
And it does expand down into the base chakra. It does
Yes.
generate
It's a vibration.
sexual and orgasmic kind of feelings, but that's not, but it's more that it emanates to there and it affects there, as opposed to that being the cause or the source, in my experience. If when you're getting that, if you focus on that energy, pull it up into your heart, and then let it loop back down and just create this flow between the heart and the sacral.
Wow, that's beautiful. I feel that.
Often
Yes.
that will then open everything else up. That's when, because the soul is connected to the body, comes into the body through the heart center, but then goes down and grounds in that sacral spot. And a lot of us have been disconnected between the two. So
Yes.
reconnecting that. If you haven't done it already, go and do the November intensive, because that's all about that.
Say that again.
There's a workshop on the website. It's called the Awaken Your Life Force, I think it's called, or November, the intensive workshop, something like that. And that is, it's all about reconnecting and expanding and strengthening that whole connection and really working with it. But what I find is when I do that, I have this moment where then everything sort of goes click, click, click and unlocks. And if you, because you said you're not sure if you're getting everything or receiving and whatever, a lot can come in.
I really appreciate that. And that's on your website, correct? And it's Awakening Life Force, correct?
I think so. I think that's what I called it.
Okay.
It was done last November, so nearly a year ago.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you'll benefit from that. If you're really feeling all that, if you're feeling all of that, I think you'll get a lot out of it.
Okay. I did recently release a very tight knot in my stomach or sacral. And ever since then, I've been getting those vibrations throughout my body. And I'm like, oh, hello.
Very good. Yeah. Hello.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Victoria, you've got that buzz on your lip and around one of your eyes as well. Well, your headset's got a little extra piece than mine does. Someone else has got it on the lip. Brooke. Okay. Regarding different iterations or copies of the new, would you suppose that people will gradually, gently drift away from one another if they're on routes to different exit? Yes. And that's already been going on. Two people who are close, one is accepting and ready while one is not. On a recent timeline, these two may find themselves naturally or unexpectedly drifting apart. Yeah. And then we've been doing that since 2012. Well, yes, since 2012, but since 2020, kind of on steroids. People drifting out, others drifting in. And it feels more to do with, yeah, your next destination as opposed to anything else at the minute. Oh, sorry, some of these are questions, but they're not in all caps. Timeline split. I think we'd. Okay. How do I? Collectively, there's one timeline. We're all navigating our own individual timelines within that bigger collective timeline. So our personal timelines with others are constantly merging and splitting. There will come a point, and I think we're already there in a way. Like, we can be here having these conversations, feeling what we're feeling, talking about what we're talking about, and knowing absolutely that there is a completely other different experience you could be having, and you know other people are having it. They're getting up every morning, they're watching the news, they're buying into every story. Life is stressful, painful and scary. They're waiting for World War III to break out. They're participating in a fucking No More Kings March or whatever the hell's going on. Like, it's a completely different world and a completely different reality to the one you're living, where you're getting up, you feel the energies, you embrace the day, you're going through life with joy and compassion and love, and it's a completely different reality. And you can see that world. You don't want to be in that world. You don't want to participate with that world. It makes you very uncomfortable to even have to look at that world. So we're already in different realities. I don't know. And Homestead at one point, kind of like say your goodbyes, because it will get too painful to visit that world at some point. And a lot of us are already there. Going to the supermarket can be a nightmare. Or you take all of who you are with you to the supermarket and you have that experience, where people are friendly and smiling and saying hello and people are helping each other, and it's that experience. But when you're not in that space and you go to the supermarket, it can be a nightmare because everyone's a bitch. So we're navigating these two worlds all the time, and it really does depend on where we're at. I don't know. Does that answer the question? I have the sensation on my left cheek and contributed it to shingles, but also lost my hearing in my left ear, and treatment went from 4% to 95%. You got 95% of your hearing back is what I understanding that as. Yeah, see, normally when I get tones and see, for me, the right side is home, the left is construct. So this microphone feeling is always on my right side. Yesterday, I had very, very strange, first, staticky shuffling. It was staticky sound and almost like a shuffling feeling inside my left ear. Super weird. But yeah, shingles is the same virus, isn't it? So yeah, it would be that sort of feeling. Okay, I think that's it. Yes, you can, Amber. Oh, wow, we've gone 2 hours. That was quick.
I was waiting until it was just about over to ask to unmute again. I just wanted to express my gratitude for you and everyone here. You know, we're in such exciting and at the same time trying times. And, you know, it's just a beautiful thing to have each other and for you, Lisa, to hold this space for free for the public. You know, maybe some people can't afford memberships and, you know, it gives them the opportunity to speak with you and ask their questions and, you know, you're sharing your knowledge and your love with everybody. And I just really appreciate you for doing that, as I'm sure everyone here does. And, you know, I want everyone to know, you know, be empowered to create your reality. You know, if you're not feeling well, you really can speak your way out of that. Um, I did it, and there was a time I didn't think I could. You know, I was really sick at one point and never like sleeping a lot. It was terrible. And I completely turned my life around with my mindset and my words. And I know all of you can do that as well. But thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate this.
I appreciate you, all of you, for being here.
I can't wait till someday we're all together. Everybody take a little hug. All right, thank you.
Well, thank you, everyone. And thank you, Amber. By this time, you know, if we have another one in a month's time, we should be talking about some very serious stuff. All right. Well, thank you. I hope those of you in Europe have not crashed out just yet. And we'll see you soon. Bye for now.